Oh man. All right, let's see. So it says we're live. Let's see if we have any problems tonight.
Let's see. That should be our new motto. Let's just see.
Let's see how this gun goes.
You don't realize that most people that say they hate Disney are the ones that actually plan in such a way where it's like, oh, let's just see what happens. Well, you get what you deserve.
I don't know, but but you know, it's tough. I guess because I've been there so much.
Yeah, but it's also so different when you're by yourself.
And that's what was my next point. Yeah, I think it's just convoluted. It's a rough spot because not only am I by myself, but I've done it so many times where you're like it's not anything new for me.
So I have to ask, are you like growing the beard out so you can shave it and then sell the fur?
That'd be awesome. To tell you the honest truth, my barber has been unavailable to squeeze me in with my new job. So, you know, I did it before too. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I could actually like pull, like I did of the. I was like, I can actually pull my face now.
Why would you want that?
It's so furry. I just took a shower, so it's all tame. You should see me by like 2:00 in the afternoon with all the humidity up here. I'm just.
Seriously, if it was white, you would be Santa Claus.
Oh, well, the goal is to get it long enough that I can dye it white while my niece and nephew are still young enough that I could dress up as Santa. They'll appreciate it. Okay. Things you do for love. All you need is love. All right, before we get banned, go ahead and start the show.
Oh, let me go ahead and share really quick.
Oh, okay. We got a fun show. We got comments tonight. We got viewers tonight.
PHUN fun.
Super pumped about it. Glad everybody can join us. Spread the love. Share it with your friends. Sharing is caring. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. And I'll stop chewing my gum before we do the show. I know that irks a few people. Oh, interesting thing. I can't share the show, huh? Oh, never mind. I lied.
Can I help?
No, I had it just I had the screen minimized.
Oh, I was like, I can't. Why can't I post? Why can't I post? It helps you if I put the group name in.
And not just leave it blank. Happy Friday Eve.
Everybody misses the little banter, though. People have said that. Hey, Chris, I missed the banter.
What, before we do the... Yeah. We still have banter, though. What did we had? I just edited a show yesterday where it literally started just like this one, where we had about a 3-minute conversation about my beard.
Well, why don't we go ahead and I hit some buttons and we start recording this thing.
Word.
Okay. You're tuned in to the Behind the Ears podcast with Uncle Danny and Mr. Chris, because everybody does Disney differently. The Behind the Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. Hey everybody, it's Mr. Chris, and I got to tell you about Expedition Roasters. Listen, I'm a pretty big coffee drinker, just like a lot of you are, but these people have got coffee right. Their coffees are made from selectively sourced premium and specialty grade Arabica beans. They provide the absolute best flavor and aroma, and select roast even come directly from a single estate farm for a truly perfect cup that is never bitter. They've got awesome Disney-inspired flavors such as Roundhouse Roast, Route 66, Skipper's Brew, Dark Side Roast, Redhead Rum, and one of my favorites, Bobsledder's Brew. Listen, if you want to have the taste of Disney in every cup, give them a try today. ExpeditionRoasters.com, and Behind the Ears podcast listeners gets an extra 20% off your first order by using the coupon code EARS20. That's right, EARS20. And you can find them over at ExpeditionRoasters.com. Brew your happy place. If you have a little one and you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to need a stroller. I'll tell you what, kingdomstrollers.com is the place where you want to look into. I'll tell you, I've destroyed my fair share of strollers while at Walt Disney World, and those things are not cheap. But getting something from kingdomstrollers.com, they'll be able to help you pick out the perfect stroller for you. And the nice part is that because they're a Disney preferred provider, they'll be able to drop it off and pick it up right from your Disney resort at no extra charge. So if you don't want to necessarily destroy your stroller in the process and you want to have a great Disney vacation with your little one, contact kingdomstrollers.com and they'll set you right up. That's kingdomstrollers.com.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode. Oh, you can't see me, huh?
Now I can. Thanks a lot, man.
Oh, that's why. My bad. See, there's a button that I can hide myself, so you could just see your actual behind the ears podcast button. And I didn't realize that I minimized myself because I was sharing. You know what? It's Friday Eve. What do you people expect from me? All right, there's only so much one man could do. I'm Uncle Danny. That is Mr. Chris. And it wouldn't be a Behind the Ears podcast episode without a little drama. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. And you know what? Everything is good. Taking into consideration that, hey, whatever happens on the show, happens on the show. We're human just like everybody else. And you know what? We're going to goof up once in a while. And in our case, more than once in a while. But you know what? Hey, we can go back and edit. But we're not going to because why? It's us. You're not here for our good looks, especially that. Look at that.
Hold on. Look at I don't know about that.
I think our podcasters need to pitch in, do a GoFundMe to buy Danny a razor.com or something like that.
See, you gotta get the side profile.
Oh my God. I mean, seriously, your head's getting twice as big just because of
my head's big enough. I can't afford it. I'm start weighing.
Well, you know what, Danny? Enough beard talk, because quite honestly, we've got a really honestly great show, and this is a listener requested show for Feature Thursday. And in the past, we've had some really good conversations. I had a couple great shows with Brandon a few months back talking about DVC ownership. And how, he and I were both DVC members. And tonight we're going to do something a little different. We actually had listeners request want us to talk about DVC rental or renting DVC points for your next vacation. And we're going to bring on a special guest tonight. Her name is Jeanie Gallo. And she is with DVC-rental.com. And yes, I want to make sure that is very emphasized. It's DVC-rental.com is the site. And she is princessing over there on the other side of the screen. Jeanie, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, guys. Hi, Uncle Danny. Hi, Mr. Chris. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing better. I'm doing better now that the day is over. Friday.
So, yeah, it's a little late to be princessing, but I'm hanging in there.
There you go.
There you go. And I know I have the advantage over everybody because it seems like everybody we talk to is on the East Coast. I'm fortunate enough to be in Central Time Zone, so hey, I'm an hour behind. But what can I say? It's just one of those curses of being a Midwesterner. It's one of those cases. So tonight, everybody, I've brought Jeanie on. Is it proper for me to say you're an agent for DVC-rental.com? Is that the proper terminology, or are you? What would
I don't know that I've been given a title. I'm the person. If you want to find out what availability is out there for your travel dates, or have me look for a range of travel dates, I can do that for you. Price things out. Answer your questions about the different villas and room styles and all those kinds of things. I don't know that I'm not a travel agent. I'm not like an official travel agent, but I do, if you send an email with reservation requests on the weekends, you're going to talk to me. So
Well, before we actually begin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how, just who you are, where you come from, and what is like your favorite Disney? Who's your favorite Disney character? I'd really like to know that, actually.
Oh, Elliot, Pete's dragon.
Wow.
Yeah.
One that I have a high level of respect for. That's really good, and one that for a movie that one that I really liked the remake for that. By chance, did you see the remake, and if so, what did you think of it compared to the original?
I saw the remake, and we're not going to discuss it. So I understand. I liked it better than what I thought. How about that? I liked it better than what I expected, but it was like they took a tiny little part of the original movie and kind of just expanded on that tiny little bit. And I don't want to say stuff just in case there are people who didn't see it, but let's talk about DVC and stuff. Yeah. Okay, but about me, since you asked, and anybody who follows me, you've heard about Heidi. Well, she heard Mr. Chris say that people are interested in what's in the background sometimes. So she perched herself on my chair before I even got out here. And like all her paper in bed is like all down below in the background. So if you see that, if she falls off onto me mid-show, you'll know that that fluffy lump, that's Heidi. So I have some purring in my ear right now. So
hilarious because, well, okay, she's moving now, but the funny part is I'm like thinking to myself, oh, she probably has a fluffy pillow there. No.
And see, like there's nothing happening. It's just
so we actually have a comment here that DVCrental.com will actually be at the Indie Disney meet, which is exciting.
Yeah, they will. I'm not going to be there, but my boss, Scott's going to be there. And B, who is in charge of the resale part of the company for people who want to actually buy a contract or sell contracts they had. B will be there. That part, that's a different branch off of the website. That's buyandselldvc.com. But you can see a link to it on dvc-rental.com. Okay. You'll see a link to that. So anybody who wants to actually like buy a contract so that they can go whenever they want instead of renting points, you can do that too through the company. That's what I did originally. Is I bought contracts resale so that I could get cheap points to rent that way. So that's another route. But getting back to your question, if people want to find me, my blog is The Princess Papers, and that's on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but you can go read why on the blog. If you pull up The Princess Papers, you'll see that. And I've had a transformation over the last couple of years, and it's kind of led me in different directions. But I'm still on there now and then. And you can also find me occasionally on Enchanted Tiki Talk podcast. I'm a correspondent for them down here in Orlando because I live right next to Disney. You might, I'm not sure what time the fireworks are tonight. We might have missed some, but you might hear some booms in the background.
Oh, wow, that's actually awesome.
Yeah. That was I wasn't expecting that with the house, but it's a great perk.
Okay, I was going to ask, good perk, bad perk. I'm assuming if you know that you're moving within earshot of Walt Disney World, you're eventually going to hear some booms. And
you will hear them, yeah. But I mean, I can see them too. So that was unexpected, and I'm happy about that. But it's funny because just 2 weeks ago, I was sitting here and it was so quiet. My neighborhood's very quiet. And I was hearing boom, boom, boom. And I was like, what was that? And then it dawned on me, fireworks. And it's like 3 years, and it's still 3 years every night. And it's still, it's part of getting a little older. You kind of forget, oh yeah, fireworks. So
say I am a curious buyer in the market and I want to bring my family down to Disney, but I don't want to buy a hotel room. I want to rent DVC points because I want to stay in a deluxe hotel. What is my first step?
Okay. Well, the first step is, I think that the best thing to do is go over to dvc-rental.com and look at the point calculator. We have a point calculator page on there. So if you're just wondering about how much is this going to cost me, you can play around with that, because just like any other hotel room, it's going to change price based on the room type, the view, the resort, the time of year, the day of the week, weekends or more. It's the same as if you were to rent, if you were to get a regular Disney room, those price fluctuations, holidays are super high, it's all that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that in general, now, if you come in thinking, I've got a room at All-Star and I want to get something better than that, realistically, that's not going to happen, because the value resorts are the value resorts. There's different categories. They're fantastic. They're whimsical. They're Disney fun. They're wonderful. But they are at a price point for a reason, to give that opportunity for a more budget vacation. Now, the DVC rental, they are all deluxe villas, and I kind of say they're upgraded deluxe, because a normal deluxe room gives you, a room with beds, mini fridge, coffee pot kind of thing. The rooms with DVC, you get a little mini kitchenette in the room. You get a mini fridge, a microwave. It has a little mini extra sink, like cups, plates, Heidi, do you have an issue?
Like, move.
Yeah, she's going to be entertainment for the evening. Like, normally all day we'll sit there for 4 hours, no movement. Right now I'm doing something. So, but so you get that little mini kitchenette thing that has supplies, it has a bottle opener and stuff like that. I mean, convenient things. The extra little sink is nice. So they're the different room categories. So I look at them as like, there's technically like 4 different types, but the first is a studio. I know a lot of people think, I want a 1-bedroom. Okay, 1-bedrooms are fantastic, but they're not what you think of as a normal hotel room. The first category that is very similar to a regular deluxe room, only it has that little extra kitchenette added, is a deluxe. It's called a deluxe studio. Okay. The next category is a 1-bedroom. Now, a 1-bedroom, I don't think of that as a hotel room as much as I think of it as an apartment. Because in a 1-bedroom, you have a dedicated master bedroom, and that has a king-size bed. Then there's like a master bathroom that has a whirlpool tub, like a jacuzzi tub. And then you have a living room, and the living room has a sofa bed and a sleeper chair. And then you have a full kitchen with full-size appliances, dishwasher, and refrigerator. You have a washer dryer there.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's
that alone, I'll tell you right now.
it's handy.
During our last trip, we literally did laundry every day, just because. I mean, take off your clothes, dump it in there, take a shower, and when you're
but there's a big jump. While you've been talking, I've been kind of messing around with this calculator. And there is a big jump in price from a deluxe studio to a 1-bedroom villa. There
is a huge jump, because you're getting about like 3 times the space. You're getting dedicated bathroom. You're getting upgraded with the jacuzzi tub, the full-size appliances, washer. You're getting a full apartment size space.
So if you're 2 people and you are more using the hotel just for convenience, you want to be closer to the park, it's almost better. Everybody's options are going to be their options. You're going to choose what you want to choose. But if you're not hotel people, it's almost like a deluxe studio is not a bad way to go. It's just a basic standard hotel room.
If you were going to go get a room at any of the deluxe resorts, you're pretty much going to get what a deluxe studio is.
Okay.
So, well, in the regular deluxe studios, there's 2 queen beds. In most of the DVC resorts, there's a queen bed and a queen size sofa bed. But
Okay.
then you get that kitchenette also added. You don't get that kitchenette. You don't get that little extra sink, microwave, refrigerator. You just get you just get a refrigerator, mini fridge in like a normal deluxe, but in the DVC, in the villas, in the studios, you do get that extra that third sink. It comes in handy if you've got a family there.
Oh, I'm sure.
And having like a stash of plates and cups and silverware and a microwave, all of that stuff is very, very much comes in handy when you're there.
Yeah, and, we stayed in one in Saratoga, and it was a deluxe studio, and it was that little kitchenette. I mean, we were only there for a night, so you didn't really get to use it. But having that fridge and that microwave, I bought one of those Rice Krispie treats, the big giant ones.
Yeah.
We didn't eat it all, so I put it in the fridge, and the next morning I woke up, was able to put it in the microwave. In a normal hotel room outside of a DVC, you're not getting that option, which was really it was cool.
No. Yeah, you could be at the Grand Floridian in a $600 a night room, and you're not going to have a microwave.
Yeah.
I mean, is that if you bring your own type of snacks, like on our last trip, we took a suitcase that was actually filled with a lot of different breakfast items. And a lot of things that we were able to do was, able to, Casey made hot water for oatmeal and stuff like that. He's a big oatmeal. Kathy brought bagels. In the past, we've also brought Pop-Tarts, and because you also have a toaster there. Which you're not.
Yeah, you have a toaster.
Yeah, you actually have some nice things that if you just want a quick breakfast, and in a way you're going to save some money because you're not, spending a junk load on even the same types of things that you would buy food court or even the store there. Yeah.
They even have a little thing of dish soap and a sponge and stuff that you can wash things out, so it's very handy. It's very handy. So, but okay. So the categories, you have the studio, which is similar to your deluxe room, only with the kitchenette added. Although in Old Key West, I will say the Old Key West rooms have 2 queen beds. They were the first DVC resort, and they've got that standard deluxe design of the 2 beds as opposed to the sofa bed situation. Okay. And those rooms sleep anywhere from 4 to 5, depending on the resort you're at. Okay. And if you have an infant, it's always a +1 for a child under 3. All the DVC rooms include a pack and play for an infant. So you can, the family fits in the room. And then the 1 bedroom sleep 5 plus an infant. And then the 2 bedrooms are the same as that 1 bedroom villa, as far as having the king size bed in a master bedroom, the jacuzzi, the full kitchen, the full living room, multiple TVs. There's TVs in each room, which that can solve a lot of fighting. And then the 2nd bedroom is on the other side of the living room usually, and that will have 2 queen beds. Some of the resorts, it's a queen bed and a sofa bed in there. It'll also have another bathroom. And then some of the resorts I know over at Kidani at Animal Kingdom Lodge, there's a 3rd bathroom also.
What?
Yeah, there.
It's so cool. That's the kids' bathroom just here.
This is all yours. All right. So I'm sorry. Yeah.
I usually say the studio is what you would think of as a hotel room. The 1 bedroom is what you think of as an apartment. And the 2 bedroom is kind of a small house because you're looking at 2 big bedrooms, living room, full kitchen, and 2 or 3 full bathrooms and jacuzzi.
And if you're saucy enough to want to go up to a grand villa, which is 3 bedrooms, and not all of them have them, but a lot of them, they'll sleep 12 or 13. And I know the one at Kidani, the one at Jumbo House at Animal Kingdom Lodge, when I stayed there, it was 2,300 square feet of.
Oh my God.
Dude, that was when we joined, that was literally bigger than my house. I mean, in a sense of square footage. And it was
Mhm.
wall, because I brought the moms. One mom had one bedroom, one mom had another bedroom. Each one of them had their own bath. And it was,
Mhm.
oh my goodness gracious. That was amazing.
And they're not overly expensive though.
Well, the funny thing about that is, when I've been, since I've been working there, every once in a while, I'm like, I wonder how much people are really saving on these rooms. So I might have a couple of, downtime minutes. Don't tell my boss. He's probably listening, but don't tell him. And I've gone on to the Disney website and I pull up the exact same room. Like last week, I had somebody who wanted a studio, just standard view studio at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I don't remember the dates. I do a lot of emails every day, but I'm not sure what time of year it was. But I know that when I put the exact reservation in for the exact room on the exact dates that I was booking for her, that the reservation came up through Disney as $3,900 with tax. Plus, if she had a car, she would have to pay that new parking fee of $24 a day, a night.
Why did I say $10? No, it's a lot.
It's different whether the values versus moderates versus that. Yeah. So I worked out, calculated how many points she needed to rent it and the $17 a point fee that we have. And that includes all your taxes, everything. The only additional fee is if you decide to pay with a credit card, we pass along that, how credit cards are. They have that service fee. But I figured it out and it was $1,900.
Whoa.
It was almost half.
Wow.
And then the other day, a friend of mine was looking for something for a weekend, like an extended weekend, marathon weekend. And I looked through the stuff and she's like, I just need a place to stay. And I found her a room at Saratoga and I looked at the prices and then I looked up, I wonder if there are any value rooms left. Are they sold out yet or anything? I pulled it up. The whole extended weekend reservation to stay in an all-star resort, stay over an all-star music versus staying in a studio villa and a deluxe was a total of $300 difference for the entire reservation.
That's so worth it.
I was shocked, so I would say think in the realm of the prices you would pay for the moderate resorts. That's pretty much around where your price point is going to be for doing DVC through a point rental.
I mean, I just did a 6-night, just a 6-night in March that I know I'm off. Say I wanted to bring my whole family down. The cheapest 3-bedroom is Old Key West. Yeah, $6,700. That's not bad.
What size is that?
3-bedroom.
Oh, a 3-bedroom? Oh, that's a grand villa.
Yes, I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
You're renting a whole house.
Yeah, I was looking at a couple, they were like 10, 12 grand. I'm like, well, if you're sleeping 12 people, you're bringing everybody could split it a little bit. That's not bad. And then I kind of scrolled down and see Old Key West for 67.32. And I was like, wow.
You want to have fun? Put it into the Disney website and see how much they would charge you to rent it.
Not about that life.
just for laughs, go ahead and put it in there. And
all right, when you guys are talking, I'll do that.
You got to do the exact dates and everything. So, but
apples to apples, you're going to find yourself a really big deal. And the interesting part to it is that I got hooked on DVC through doing a point rental. It was probably close to 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, back then there weren't a lot of companies that were doing, kind of point brokering, kind of meeting members with, renter. And so I kind of took I took a risk. I had to do some kind of internet due diligence with whom I was working with, but I rented a room. It was over at the Boardwalk. I got a 2-bedroom villa, and it was a a 2-bedroom villa for one night. It was like at that time, mind you, this was like 15 years ago. It was like $350 out of my pocket with the number of points. So I know for a fact at that time that room was close to $800 or $900 cash. And after we stayed there, when we only stayed there one night, I looked at my wife and I said, why do we keep on spending, the ultimate rack rate, even with discount and so forth? I mean, it really did, it really did kind of open our eyes in the sense of, doing that sort of thing. I actually have friends of mine that all they do now is rent DVC points because they usually have larger families. They want a larger room. And even this past trip that I was at, there was 5 of us. The first part of our stay, we were at a 1-bedroom over at Kidani, even though it was standard view, or like we like to call it, the parking lot Savannah view. It was very nice. We really loved it. And then the last few days, we actually had an Art of Animation's car suite. And while that was nice, it was like you could almost put an entire Art of Animation suite into the master bedroom portion of. And what I mean, granted, it was really nice. It was very well themed and so on and so forth. But it was like usually I go from a value to the DVC resort. This time, just because of timing, I had to do it the opposite. And boy, what a difference.
The first time I stayed in a DVC room, it was over at Jumbo House at Animal Kingdom. And I remember getting there. I was still living in Pennsylvania at the time. And I went down and we got there. And I remember like flopping onto the bed. And my face was kind of, I was looking out the balcony. And as I was doing that, a giraffe head came by.
That's so cool.
And I was like, that's a giraffe. And it was just going right by through my balcony. I was like, oh my goodness. And that was like the most memorable DVC moment I've ever had. So, and then another time I stayed over in a 1-bedroom at Bay Lake Tower. And I didn't think I was going to like Bay Lake Tower because it's so like modern. And, it's just, I'm like, it's a little masculine. It's so modern. But I got over there and I walked in there and I had a 1-bedroom and it had this beautiful kitchen, all stainless steel and shiny and beautiful. And I went downstairs and paid a fortune for ham and cheese and bread and made grilled cheese sandwiches in that kitchen just because I needed to cook in that kitchen because it was so pretty.
I've actually made really good breakfasts in the 1-bedrooms. We actually would use like Garden Grocer or other places to get actual cold perishable items. And so
Amazon
1 year
Prime delivers groceries to the resorts now.
But do they do cold stuff like
the Amazon
items?
Prime now that has the grocery delivery?
What's that?
Yeah.
Prime Grocer or something. You get the coupon if you check
it's called Prime Now, I believe. I've used it to my house and I've gone over there and seen people getting deliveries. So,
that's fun.
I think they're teamed up with Whole Foods now.
They
so you
are.
can get a lot of the Whole Foods stuff.
I'm looking at it now. It is one. Yeah, it's Fresh Foods, Chris.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I'll have to remember that because, the cool part about it is that, I got we got milk, we got eggs, we got OJ. I got sausage, I got biscuits, and we actually brought some condiment packets just from home. But like one morning, I woke up early. It was a long night. Everybody was still sleeping. I made sausage biscuit sandwiches, and then when everybody was awake, they're like, "Oh, hot breakfast!" And yes, I made it in my stove in my. I was like, you just can't do that anywhere else. And it's like, granted. Even though in some cases you pay a fee and stuff like that to get grocery delivery, the fact of the matter is you save a lot of money if you just do some of the small things.
I was going to say, what the street value of a Disney breakfast sandwich is?
Oh my God. Even though they're good, even the one at Kidani Village over at Sanaa in the morning, still like $9.
Oh yeah.
Just for the sandwich. Not even talking about the coffee, which Mr. Chris needs his coffee. So it's just one of those things. I know some people are like, I don't want to cook when I'm on vacation. I don't want to do this when I'm on vacation. Sometimes when you notice on how much you can save, you're like, you know what? I could actually do something extra special if I didn't have to pay this extra 50, 60, $70 a day for things like breakfast for a family of 4 or 5. If I just put extra effort into it. I know it seems contradictory to vacation because you cook every morning, but this could actually help you do other things within Disney.
Enough about food. I can't believe you just said that. I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. I apologize, everybody. That was not me. No, but seriously. Okay, so we're at the point where we picked the hotel we want. Well, we have an idea of where we want to stay. We're on the DVC-rental.com. We do the pricing, and we're like, okay, cool. This is what we're going to spend. These are the couple hotels we want to stay at. The next step
I'm
is
trying to fix my earpiece. You keep falling out.
So the next step would be to contact you guys and go, I guess, for availability.
If you go onto the website, the DVC-rental.com website, you will find a reservation request form. And you can fill in your information because we need to know how many people you have, what you're looking for, what resorts you're looking for. And I will say, here's some advice on getting the things you want. Okay. The way DVC rents is the earliest that reservations can be booked is 11 months from the travel date. Okay. So if you're planning something a year or two in advance, you can't do it yet, but you can go play with that points calculator on there and see where you're going to fall on price. But we can't look for that availability for you yet because Disney hasn't opened up that booking window. But once it opens up at 11 months, we can start looking at things. Now, you may think, wow, that's a long time in advance. And then you might think, well, I want to go in a month or two. DVC rooms book up quickly. All right. Members buy those memberships because they're vacationing regularly. They're booking those dates regularly. Okay. So we can get the booking window at 11 months is for people who own at that resort. So if you want a room at Boardwalk at 11 months, we find somebody who owns at Boardwalk and they could book that. People who own at other resorts won't be able to do that yet. Then once the 7-month window hits, then anybody who owns at any resort can book any resort. Like it's open to everybody. But when you own at a certain one, you get first dibs for a couple of months. So once that 7-month window happens, everything starts booking up. So you want to get in probably 8 months in advance to make sure you've got the best selection of rooms. Now, that doesn't mean that, the week before there isn't going to be something. The odds are going to be unlikely. It's probably going to be at Saratoga, which is nice, but Saratoga and Old Key West are the biggest resorts. So they end up having the most availability later on when everything else sells out. Things like Polynesian, Boardwalk, Beach Club, those all go first. Those are really, really high demand. What's that?
And they're also smaller resorts.
So yeah, there's less rooms and stuff. And then Polynesian has those bungalows. Very often we can find a bungalow for you out on the water, but it's going to be extremely expensive. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a castle view, a plunge pool, a beautiful 2-room little cottage on the water, but it's going to cost you. You're at the Polynesian, So there are so many different room types. But the next step is as long as you're within that window, fill out that form. We'll look through the dates for the availability and then send you back. Here's the resorts you wanted, or if those aren't available, here's the other ones that are available. So we try and get you what you request, but, a lot of people want the same thing, So, we always try and look for other options for you. If your dates are flexible, we try and look for other dates to try and fit things in. We can scan the calendars. There's also a page, if you're really flexible, this is the way to go. On the website, you'll see a big thing that says deals. If you click on the deals page, those are already confirmed reservations, and they are actually discounted. So if you want one of those resorts, you can just click right on that and grab that already confirmed reservation. But you're kind of in that you've got to be in that date. You got to do those dates.
Oh, okay. Because I just saw one that was really a good price, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" And then I just saw the dates. Okay.
Yeah. So
cool.
You have to. But if you've got flexibility, it's like, oh, we're looking for a trip, not sure when we want to go. Check that deals page. Grab one of those deals. Why not? You know,
super cool.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's one of those cases where, hey, if you're just, I'm going to go. Let's see. Go. I mean, as long as you can do it, I think that's fabulous. That's a great.
I think that there was last I looked, there was a Grand Floridian 1-bedroom, I believe, on there, and it was like $13 a point renting for it on there. That's
wow.
That's,
and if we thought previous example that you gave in regards to, regular rate versus a rental rate, and this is, another X% off.
Yes.
That's a great deal.
And now, when you see those prices, all taxes are included. You get all the same benefits of booking any Disney resort. You get your Magical Express. With DVC points, you get free parking. You don't get that any other way. If you have to go through DVC point rental in order to get your parking at any of the resorts for overnight. You get your magic bands. You get that early open window for fast pass booking. I already said Magical Express, right? Back and forth to the airport. So, all those the extra magic hours, all of that still goes with it. So once we find your reservation, you've got your reservation, you're happy, you're excited, you're ready to book. And we'll send you the booking instructions. There's a $120 deposit to put down to grab that room. We go find a member, get that booked for you. Okay. Often happens within a few minutes, a day. Sometimes if it's like an exact, you got that 11-month window, might take, a little bit of time, but most of the ones I've seen have been same day booking. And then within 7 days, the balance is due for your resort. You can pay by check, no other fees, pay by credit card. We pass along the credit card fee that they charge us. So that's 3%. So, but other than that, there's no extra like service charges, anything like that. Another big thing that I get is, can we add the tickets? Can we add dining plan? Can we do any of that? Yes, of course. You can do that. There are forms on the website. There are calculators for tickets. There are calculators for dining plans. You can see what the cost is for them if you'd like. And then there's forms on there to request to have them added to your reservation. You can do it when you book, or you can do it down the road. I mean, don't cut it too close to your travel dates, so you make sure that's on there, but it's not a problem. There's a request form on there to request your Magical Express. That's all in there too. We set that up. So once you get that booked and we have it done, we send you your Disney confirmation number, your resort confirmation number, the same as if you book through Disney. You go onto your My Disney Experience, put the number into your My Disney Experience. Your reservation is linked. You can do your fast passes when the window opens, and you just move along like any other reservation. So
now that you said there was a $120 fee, is that paid before you guys do the research or after?
Whenever you do the research, that's all free. When you send in the reservation request form, that's all free. The $120 is not until you say, I want to book this.
Okay.
And you fill out the booking form. Once we find out, here's the dates, here's the prices for what you want. And you go, yes, I want that beach club room from May 5th to 10th. We go, okay, here's the booking form. You fill out the booking form of your deposit and we get it booked.
Okay, so then if you
So-
come back and you give me everything I want, but I say, hey, listen, you know what? Talk to the wife. She said we're not going to go. I don't get charged for anything.
Of course not. Of course not. It's the same as if you were to call Disney or anything to look for reservations.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that fee is like, all a part of your total fee as well. I mean,
Yeah, that is just the deposit for the room, and that goes towards the balance. You just pay the balance then. It's not an extra fee. It's just the part of your reservation cost. Yeah.
One other thing I want to go ahead and mention, you did mention that, you can go ahead and get dining plans. I think, I know you're a DVC member. I'm a DVC member. There is one thing that I think everybody also needs to realize. DVC members, regardless if you're renting points, if you're an owner or what have you, you will never get free dining. And that's just one of those things everybody needs to have a little bit of an understanding. But think about it this way. You don't get free dining, but you're already saving a super ton of money. You can do a lot of dining with the money that you save.
Well, the free dining packages are added on to it shows us on the Disney website. Free dining packages are part of a rack rate, room rate. So you're paying the top of what a room rate could be to add that on. I'm not really a fan of the dining plan. I don't necessarily recommend it unless it's something that, it's for convenience. I don't see it as money saving. But everybody vacations differently. If that's your thing, that's your thing. That's fine.
That's the thing. I mean, Danny and I have talked about, there are certain cases where the dining plan does work for certain people. I think
you got to know, you got to do the legwork and research it though, and know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, because I used to be a big user of the dining plan. My family and I utilized it very, very well. Our dining habits have changed over the past 10 years. So we don't necessarily spend a lot of time doing a lot of dining. We do enjoy times of dining, but like you said, we just don't find value in it, but that's okay. Disney still gets our dining dollars. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing is we don't charge anything extra for the dining plan or the tickets. It's just whatever the cost is what is added on. We're not trying to sell that. We're booking rooms. If you need those added, we add them for you as a convenience, but it's not, I'm not trying to sell packages like that, so.
There is one question that actually came in earlier today on one of our, actually over at the WDW community site. They wanted to know, after everything is all booked and you have that reservation number, is the renter in charge of the reservation, or is it the point holder? In other words, if the renter needed to either make requests or changes or this, that, and the other, would they have the ability to do that, or would there have to be some sort of process in order to go through in order to make some of those notations?
Well, here's the thing. DVC is very particular about their points being canceled, dates being changed. It's in very high demand. So if reservations were to be canceled and changed, that can either change the status of a member's points to basically a very limited use status, or they can totally lose their points if something's canceled. So the way that we work is once you've booked, you are booked. There's not going to be changes and cancellations. There is, however, a travel insurance policy that you can buy on the website. There's a little calculator on there. There's a page about travel insurance. The cost varies based on the reservation that you get. So if you think that there might be a chance that you're going to need to change or that you might need to cancel, it's not a bad idea to pick that up just to make sure you're okay, because it's a no questions asked kind of policy. I know a lot of other travel things that cover airfare and all that. This only covers your room, but if some of them are very limited, in what they do. So check out that page and see if that works for you. If you think that there might be some changes coming, or just in general, because life happens, But if you did need to do that, basically the reservation would have to be canceled. This is the way DVC system is set up. A reservation has to be canceled and a new reservation has to be placed. And those rooms may not be available then. You don't know. Availability changes every day. The stock moves very, very quickly. So we would have to set that up and do it that way. And that is done through the member. Whenever the way DVC works is the DVC agents speak with the members. They're not going to speak with somebody who rents it. Whenever I've put my father in a room or anything, he can't just call and adjust a reservation. That's my membership, and nobody can change things that deal with my membership. Disney doesn't allow that.
Exactly.
Those are Disney rules. Those aren't our rules.
We actually have a question here. They're basically saying if they rent through you guys and say they want a specific building, maybe they're at Saratoga and they want the Carousel building. Can they still do they put a request in through you or call Disney after they have their confirmation number, or can they even not put in that request? How does that work?
It is the same as if you were booking through Disney. You tell us your requests. We put in any requests. I have lots of different requests, but I will tell you the exact same thing that is Disney policy. Every Disney resort, whether you book through us or you book directly through Disney, every request is just that. It is a request. No request is guaranteed. So you can put that in, but you have to know that Disney tries their best. We've probably all made a request if we've gone multiple times for something. And they try their best, but I don't think it's possible for them to meet them all. They get so many thousands, but it will be a request, and we definitely can put those in. That's not a problem at all.
Perfect.
And if someone's like, a subscriber to touring plans or something like that, they have a request that still works with DVC rentals as well as any other Disney room. You merely just have to put your reservation number in, and they will actually go ahead and fax a reservation. Again, nothing's guaranteed. I know I've had about a 40% hit rate on the kind of room that I want, but that's one of those cases. And you can still do online check-in with rentals, correct?
Yeah. You can still do online check-in.
Yeah, because a lot of times, even with online check-in, you could actually do some of your selection of room and so forth, which that all still really is the same. I'll admit, I've only done it a few times. My lovely spousal support unit, she'll usually do it like right when it's available. She's like, "Oh, online check-in, I can do it now. It's only several week." That's just how it does it. But yeah, so that's also really, really good to know. Let's see. I'm kind of also going through some of the other.
Something that some people may not know either is that DVC is not just Walt Disney World. The DVC room resorts and the Disney resorts there's the Grand Californian at Disneyland and California Adventure. It's on par with the Grand Floridian as a resort. I'm going there in February. I'm booked there in February. Ooh. Yeah. And we also have a DVC resort at Vero Beach, was about 90 minutes or so away from Walt Disney World. So like if I know a lot of people do like their Disney trip and then they go on the cruise, to kind of like decompress after their trip. Well, you can stay at Walt Disney World and then book out at Vero Beach about 90 minutes away, stay in a beachfront resort that's still Disney owned with point rental, and enjoy a wonderful decompressing couple days of your trip. That's really nice after some days in hectic parks to be oceanfront.
It's not a bad idea at all.
No. And there's also another resort in Hilton Head. Disney has a resort in Hilton Head. It's absolutely beautiful. I've stayed there a couple of times.
I heard it's very charming.
It is, you know what? It kind of reminds me of kind of a camping lodge feel to it. It's when I walked into the first time I stayed there, I walked in and there was like a little kind of in the foyer, there was like fishing gear kind of hanging. And then there was a little wooden bench there and it had Walt Disney's like initials carved into the wooden bench. And it's just like, it was very, like plaids and greens and just felt like you're in kind of like rustic cabin, only really luxurious, so it's beautiful. And if you're a golfer and you want to go to Hilton Head, that is a nice place to stay. That is a nice place to stay.
And of course, if you want to go over the big pond, you could actually rent points over at Aulani over in Hawaii.
Also have a Hawaii resort. Yes. I've done a couple of those. Aulani's pretty popular. And you know what I just found out? I think that this is a relatively new change as far as when you're renting the points, being able to do this. But you know how you get free parking at the deluxe resorts when you go through DVC points? If you decide you want a car when you're in Hawaii and you're going to be kind of sightseeing and running around, Aulani charges $37 a day to park.
Woo!
Yeah, and that's whether you valet or self-park. It's $37.
I'm valeting all day then.
It actually says on their website, it's $37 a day, but you could also valet for the exact same cost like they want you to. I believe it's like $12 an hour at a max of $37 a day. So
some people think it's expensive to park downtown Chicago. Well, guess what? My dream.
You've never been to Hawaii, have you?
Yeah. So I'm guessing they don't want a lot of cars there. But if you rent with the DVC points, that's included. And that can add up. That can really add up.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, I haven't been there. Mm-hmm. I only talked to a few people that have, and a lot of people say, you know what, having a car there is actually a pretty good idea. There's a lot of times that we always say, Danny and I always get into, fun banter of to have a car or to not have a car at Walt Disney World. And so we go back and forth on that all the time. But I also hear having a car at Aulani is actually a pretty good idea just because of your locale compared to everything else that you might want to do outside of the resort. Mm-hmm. So something to take into consideration.
All right, as we wrap up here, Chris, do you have any final questions?
I look at the timer here and I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, have we really talked for this long? And I feel like it has been just like a snap of the finger type of thing. Jeanie, let me ask you this. First off, do you have any last words of wisdom for those that might be interested in renting DVC points? And if not, I would love for you to go ahead and just tell us how they can get a hold of you to inquire about renting DVC points just one more time.
Okay. Well, my main piece of advice would be to book early, go on that point calculator, kind of get an idea, expect it's going to be in the price of a moderate, don't think it's going to be pennies. And, that's the main thing. Get in there early, because I feel so bad when I have this special occasion. I really need a room and you're breaking my heart when I can't find something for you. I can't make it happen. And I want to be able to do that. So,
that's for sure. And the early.
Yeah. So just make sure you look at things early. When you have an idea, start pricing that out. And there's one other little tip for those of you who think I have the family, I need, space for the bigger group. Those 2 bedrooms are really expensive. And the 2 bedrooms are kind of exponentially more because you're getting that whole living room and kitchen and washer dryer, the jacuzzi tub, all that. You can just rent a couple of studios together, the same as you would rent a couple of deluxes. So I've had a lot of people say, I want a 3-bedroom grand villa. And I'm like, well, that'll be $16,000, but I can put you in 2 rooms at the beach club for $4,000. So,
yeah,
and that's not too shabby. It's like, that's not staying at the beach club in a couple of rooms is not the end of the world. You know what I mean? So, just keep your options open and we can work with you with your groups. And if you want to go on the website, it's DVC make sure you put that dash in there, rental.com, and click around a little bit, look at some of the info. If you feel like you want to price out some dates, fill out that reservation request form. On the weekends, you'll get me. During the week, you'll get Ashley or Ty responding. And sometimes Shannon and Scott are there responding. We've got a whole group of people who are there to help you. And we work all day long, pretty long hours to make sure that we get back to you as soon as possible.
Cool. That's excellent.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you for coming on and informing everybody on, what a great service you guys provide. And I'm sure, you guys will be definitely getting some business from some of our listeners. That's for sure.
And I'm sure Scott is really looking forward to seeing you over at the Indiana event.
Very excited to see him at the Indy Disney meet. Yes. Right around the corner.
Hook him up with a Dole Whip for me.
There you go.
Yes, we really look forward to seeing him as well as all the other, vendors and podcasters and travel agents. And it is an absolute fabulous time. I really look forward to meeting Scott when we're there. And at the same time, hey, Scott, I know you're listening. Bring Jeanie with you.
The day that I met him when I was getting the job, he wore a tiara. So I was like, I think this is the place I need to be.
Oh, that's fabulous. That is absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. You guys are great.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yeah, we're going to have you hang out on our lobby for one moment as we close
Sure.
out. All right.
Perfect.
All right. You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home.
With that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in to another wild and crazy Behind the Ears podcast. It was an absolute pleasure having DVC-rental. Make sure you put that dash in there, people, because if you don't, doesn't bring you to the right place. Put the dash in. Learn from me. With that being said, it was an absolute pleasure having her, Miss Gallo, on tonight. A lot of great information. If you all know, I literally posted about this like 3 weeks ago. How do I go about renting? And that was a dead serious question before we had any inclination we were going to bring her on. So really good information. I will be using them in the very near future since I am a Disney podcaster and I need to be in Disney. Sorry, that person doesn't hear that anymore, but that was a dig. You're muted, bud. Oh, man. With that being said, I am Uncle Danny. Thank you all for listening to us, following us, downloading us. Follow us on all those social media platforms. With that being said, have a safe and wonderful weekend. Don't forget to tuck your kids in tight, wear your seatbelt, drink some cranberry juice. I'm Uncle Danny. Have a wonderful night.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Thanks again for joining us. Really super appreciate it. Love the interaction. It's just most epic. We love basically being here for you guys, and thank you for making the show what it is. But until we meet again, we hope that you have an awesome and magical day. Take care.